So, I am back. Okay, so I've just finished my last mask. When I show you these masks, I bet you can guess which one is last because they get progressively better as they go. The first one, as you saw, is not too great. But, the last one's not too great either. I mean, I bet you still could be someone out there that does it way better than I did. But, it's good enough. So, let's get to that. So, as you already saw, I made the black mask, which was, with the sort of droopy type eyes with the happy face and the gold on top. And the eyes and the mouth were, they had the color scheme of, like a dark red. Dark red. It's more of a brick red. The one that I have here. I didn't mean to get that one. I didn't know. But it still came out fine in my opinion. And the black is supposed to represent darkness, and the gold represents the status. And you also see, I'll tell you how the colors tie in at the end as well too. So then another one I made was this all white mask, which it was supposed to parallel with the black one and represent innocence and also goodness in general. So I decided to do that because the white represents innocence and goodness. Then I decided on blue because of the relation it has to the blue mask I talked about earlier. It's going to show that they have a relation, but this is a lighter blue than the blue mask. And I chose lighter blue for that, like a sky blue, baby blue, because I wanted to keep this still looking as innocence and goodness. So I kept with the very light colors, and if I brought it down to some darker colors, like exactly the same as the other one, even though the background's very light, it'll be sort of like the background's light, but this person is leaning towards being neutral, or towards not being 100% innocent. So I just tried to keep the colors very, very, very light and bright, such as the baby blue, like the sky, and the white, like the clouds, very light. And the yellow has a relationship with the black mask, which shows a regal status, because, or it also shows power, which is ironic for this one because this happens to be the character in distress, and that happens to be the power status of evil. And but they both represent power because the story that I created, this is going to be the damsel. Doesn't have to be a damsel. It's the character that's in need of help. And basically this character is a royal upper class status, and they're in need of some serious help because this very, very dark character, which also looks like a trickster character, who connives and is evil, is trapped them or whatever. And basically this character, the the darkness character, has gold on it too, because this happens to be, I wrote it, so this is this character's guardian or parent. And stupid fly, sorry. This character, this one, the white masks, guardian or parent, and they're evil. This one is totally good. They contrast, and but it shows a relationship between the regal status. So I thought that was cool. So the final mask that I did, you probably will agree that this is the final one because it looks better than the other ones, but that might just be because of the colors I put on it. But anywho, so for the blue mask, I chose to use white for the eyes and the mouth, to sort of go with the white mask that use blue for the eyes and the mouth. Because the blue for the eyes and the mouth and the white mask go with this blue, but it's a lighter color. It shows their relationship together as the blue goes to this and this one vice versa is to the white one. And there's no way I can make white darker, but I felt like white can also be a very neutral color as well when used a little bit inside of a bigger neutral color. Like if I use a little bit of white inside of a big thing of blue, or a little bit of white inside of like a big thing of green. White can be a very neutral color when used sparingly inside of the big picture of a more neutral color. So I thought that still kept it very neutral, didn't sway it too much towards the extreme goodness, but the white also shows that this character, the protagonist, also happens to be the rescuer of the white mask character. This one happens to be very good and leans towards being a very good protagonist that, you know, is leaning towards the side of innocence and goodness. Because the protagonist doesn't have to be the good character. I decided to do that to show that they're leaning towards goodness, whereas you can also have one that's leaning towards darkness if I chose a different color scheme. But also I chose the green to contrast totally with the first two masks because they had gold on it, which represents like upper status and money and things like that. Whereas green sort of represents a more of an earthy, down-to-earth, more lower class, I would say, status. Brown does too. I didn't want to use brown because that's ugly. The first mask already came out a brownish color. But I used this green to show that this character is more earthy, more outgoing, and not as restricted as the gold ones because they're royals. This one is more free spirit. They're most likely a peasant in my mind in this world because we're thinking back in the original times of pantomime. So yeah, this one is very low status and things like that, and helping out the person in distress, the white mask, in the whole story. So that's basically my masks. See, blue and white, and then the blue and black, and all that different stuff, and all that jazz. So I had just finished decorating these actually. So these masks will dry, and then eventually I'll come back to the mask, and I will perform. I'm not gonna say perform, but I will do a little demonstration with the mask that will that would be me exploring this whole part of pantomime theater, but also demonstrating while exploring how old pantomime theater works. So that is it.